of me is down. You enchant me, even when you're not around. If there are boundaries, I will try to knock them down. I'm latching on them, now I know what I have found.
Yeah, cool. So Justin, if you can kind of just introduce yourself, man. I don't even really personally know you that well. I've definitely been following you probably for about 6, 7, 8 months now with your YouTube content. So if you can kind of just share who you are and how long you've been in the industry, and then we'll go from there, my man.
And telesales, learning a lot of the content that I put out there for people to just access for free. So write down my name, Justin Vom Eigen, search me on YouTube, just subscribe to my channel. I'd really, really appreciate the support. And I've been in the business for 3 years. First 6 months, I went face-to-face. I did face-to-face sales I was in South Florida. And just for driving around, and the driving around time, it's such a big state, and gated communities, stuff like that. I was like, I'm just gonna try to do this on the phone. And IMO I was with, they were like, that doesn't really work too well. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll try it. So I tried it and it worked. And I did my first app on the phone after like 6 months in the business. I said to the lady, I was like, hey, if we go over everything and you like it, would you want to just do it on the phone, or I can send you an email, or we can just take care of it now? And she's like, oh yeah, that's easy for me. I was like, all right. So I did that, and yeah, I've been in the business. So I've been in telesales for about 2.5 years now. When I got into life insurance, I didn't really get into it wanting to be an agent. I got into it wanting to build a business. So it's just a little bit different of a perspective. I said, okay, I'm going to learn the sales part first, and then I'm going to grow an agency and grow and scale out a telesales agency. And that's what I do now. Just in that same team growth mode that it seems like you guys are in, like Gage, seeing the way that you run the meetings is awesome. I have a similar format, my team meeting. So, it seems like similar formatted, like, hey, I do the same thing. It's like, hey, well, someone want to learn sales, you want to learn to build a team and agency of your own. That's really it, man. With an IMO Senior Life Services, Florida Insurance Services, a little bit different of a setup than the traditional IMO, but I mean, we're all in the same business, and we all face the same challenges every single day. So yeah, that's really it. That's my background.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you sharing, guys. And the main reason that I really wanted to bring Justin on here is because I think it's important for you to understand that it's okay to network with people outside of Family First Life. And you don't necessarily have to recruit every single person from another company or another IMO. Like, I've talked to Justin a couple of times. I've not once said, hey man, you should come check out Family First Life. Like, he's pretty successful at what he's doing. And so I'm going to respect him at where he's at. And we want to figure out how we can help each other. Because I think that the network that you have is really going to determine the size of your business. And so one thing that I heard that I think was very interesting. Did you say that it was 6 months before you sold your first policy?
No. I was in the business for 6 months. But honestly, I went 9 months with my license before doing anything. Okay. So I was like, no one would have wanted to hire me when I started. I did like the total part-time approach. And I mean, so many people, their heart's in the right place, but it's like, oh, I'm going to do this part-time till it equals my full-time income. And then I'm going to do it full-time. And, I told myself that for almost a year. And then I was like, all right, man, what are you doing? And I had a couple good weeks, and I was like, all right, bro, you just got to take the leap. But I was saying I was in the sales, heavy final expense face-to-face. for 6 months before then at that point, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go telesales. And then it was pretty quick to where I was like, I'm gonna build a business out of it. Because I got into insurance it wasn't like I want to be an agent forever. I was like, I want to build a business. And that's where the perspective was a little different. So it was in sales for 6 months.
Okay. No, that makes sense. And I think that there's many people who kind of sit on their license because they're in their comfort zone and they don't necessarily, want to take that leap of faith. So what did you do before you got into insurance?
Well, honestly, in 2014, I got clean off like a really, really, really bad opiate addiction I had for like 5 years. And because of where I was and the history involved in it and everything, I didn't really know what I was doing. And I got into selling cars, and I learned sales and selling cars for a couple of years. And then I got promoted to finance manager. So I was pretty good. I really liked it too. But I just hustled. And then from there, I had a customer of mine in car sales. He was like, hey, you should get into insurance. And it was funny because he was like, most people try to recruit to their IMO because they want the override or whatever. But he was like, you should get into life insurance, but not where I am. You should go to this other company. So it was like, but he already had like a bunch of money from some other stuff he did. And he wasn't like, like grinding like some of us are here. So he, and then so he suggested me to go to New York Life, which I'm glad I went there first as like my first company to be with and get licensed, because man, like they just have such an asset base with money to just educate agents on what insurance is itself. So I learned a lot about insurance there, but that was really a story, man. I mean, my life was a complete chaos until 2014. So
well, I really appreciate you sharing that. Honestly, yeah. I know it's a humbling experience to explain and to share with all of us. A bunch of strangers. There's 75 people on this call, and it just goes to show, guys, that you can make a decision and completely change your life around.
Yeah, 100%. And you can decide your bottom too. Like a guy decided, hey, this is the lowest I was going to go, and then and it was all up from there.
Absolutely, man. So really, we want to dive into the meat and potatoes of this call and really some sales training. So like obviously you're building an agency and you're primarily building a telesales agency. So when you're bringing somebody on board, really, what are some expectations that you give them when you're going full telesales? Because it's a lot different than just in-home.
Yeah, so we run about 132 interviews a day for my team, for prospects to work with us for recruiting. And everybody, before we get them signed up for the course, it's like, hey, you will be expected to do this. And some people will commit before, and then once someone gets going, it's like, you got to hit 3 things a day. You need to call 200 people, double dialing them every day, or 5 hours of talking to someone on the phone, or 1,000 in annual premium a day. So that's like the target expectation to do, and sometimes it's just adjusting into it. But those are the expectations. Like if you want to get into some people, I think get into telesales, if you've already been in the field and you go to telesales, it's not to make it easier. Like you don't have to drop the work ethic. Instead of driving around to appointments and banging on doors, you're on the phone. So it's not like it's any easier. It can be more challenging, because think about it. When you go to an appointment, they know you're there to sell them insurance, or bring them some information on insurance. So when you call someone on the phone, you know where they are. They could be at the grocery store. They could be driving on the highway like I am right now. They could be anywhere. So it's really that effort, building that pipeline, and you have to have a maniac level activity to build your pipeline. But not only that, to build the skill. Like you have to be frequent before you can be great. I feel. Did his audio cut out, or did mine? Okay.
Yeah, no, Gage, you're muted.
Gage, you're muted.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can, man.
One of these days we'll get this figured out.
It's all good.
So I think that what I was going to say is you hit on something very crucial. Is when you're onboarding them, you're giving them the expectations. Can you guys still not hear me?
Oh, we hear you. I hear you.
Okay. Well, Michaela, can you run the call for us here? Because I don't know what's going on. So Michaela, can you ask him some questions? Be much appreciated.
Yeah, no, and I think what Gage was about to say is that you hit on some key points in setting that expectation that, you know, if you're going to go into the telesales, you can't just like give up your activity. You got to just make more activity, because when you're in a home, there's more intent. You're sitting at their table, they know you're going to sell life insurance. Whereas over the phone, you got to let them know, like, this is how the process is going to work over the phone.
Yep.
So one of the questions that we wanted to ask you, like, when you're obviously Family First Life, we kind of have a system with how we structure our like one call close. Is that what you're doing, like a one call close, or are you trying to set up a time?
No, I one call close. I always one call close everybody. I mean, I get them to hang up on me. Like, the way we have it set up is we have Zoom breakout rooms, kind of like you guys have. So I'll have my new agents, brand new ones, in a breakout room with their screen shared and their audio shared. So myself and the other, agency builders will jump in the room, and then we can kind of, with the CRM we use, we can tap into the back end of the line and close the deal from there. I can explain that program to you guys that we use to do that. It really, really helps a builder jump on. That'll probably be something that I could talk to Gage about after, because it may not help everybody on the call as much. But and then, so we kind of help new agents by handling the end of the call there. But when I'm on a call, they hang up on me or I make the sale. Like, there's no like I'm just relentless with like trying to go for the close. And there are a couple of things I wrote down that can helping that I definitely want to cover to help people increase their closing ratio on the phone there. But yeah, one call close, like that's it. You got to. I learned that from cars. They got to buy then. If they don't buy then,
So let's go over some of those relentlessness that you talked about, like those objections we all get nonstop when it's on the phone.
For sure. But
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, real quick though, guys, because people aren't there, like, right, knowing you're going to sell them insurance, there will be some that you will have to follow up with those. So I call it my red zone list. Like, red zone, if you watch football, it's like the last 20 yards. So you're going to have people where they're like, yes, I want it, but I don't have my bank account information. Like, I'm watching my grandkids and I didn't bring my wallet with me today, or I don't have my checkbook or whatever. But yeah, next muted there, Michaela.
Sorry, it was lagging on my end. I didn't know. Shoot.
Oh, maybe mine was.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was yours or if it was mine. So I was like,
probably mine.
Yeah, do you mind just repeating that? No, you're fine.
Yes. So I was saying, you're going to have clients who aren't going to buy right there for whatever reason. They may not have their checkbook on them. Like sometimes, the spouse, they do have to talk to the spouse or whatever it may be. That's normally BS though. But there are some occasions where you're so close to the sale and you want to have that list of follow-ups and call and text them. Yeah, I call it my red zone list, right? Like, it's like, man, we're almost at the goal line. Like, right there, Moises, I'm going to get to you. And then someone else said, I do 130 interviews a day. Yeah. Not me, I have a recruiting team, but yeah. So I don't know what question.
Huge thing with the follow-ups. So how are you keeping that like organized? Do you have like an Excel spreadsheet, or how are you keeping that organized to follow up with these people and remember when you're doing so many, sales a day, calls a day?
Yeah, good question. So I use a CRM called VanillaSoft. Anybody who's interested, I'll put it in here as well, in the chat. So that's what the CRM is. Just if anybody has any questions after, you can just email me. I promise I'm not going to try to recruit you. So, we can be in the insurance, we can be savages about that. But I use VanillaSoft. It helps you set up callbacks, follow-ups. It has a calendar. It's the best CRM I've used for telesales. It's like $130 a month, but it's a little more than some of the other ones, but it's 100% better. Yeah, Taria, just email me and I'll help you out. And I know a lot of the people back there, VanillaSoft, they'll help you guys out, give you a demo or whatever. But yeah, VanillaSoft, it helps me organize all that, because the spreadsheets is too much, man. Like, and when you're doing telesales, I mean, I'm a big proponent of buying aged leads, because now I'm at the point where I'm confident enough on the phone. Give me a name and a number and I'll call them, and I'll probably be able to get a presentation. And so like, you guys want to have your new leads too, but I would let me know if the connection breaks up here. But you want to work your new leads too, of course, but you want to have those aged leads so that you can get your dial count in and your volume. Because so you don't know if like brother, sister, aunt, uncle died like recently, or all of they came to the senses. So I work a bunch of different lead types, and I recommend telemarketing callback leads as well for telesales. Or if you're running Facebook leads or some internet leads, you want to make sure that you're wherever you're getting them, they can send them to you immediately, like as soon as they fill out that form, because you want to call them right away. If not, then telemarketing callback leads are really my favorite for telesales if you're making outbound calls. Then of course is inbound. And then she asked about manually dialing. No, VanillaSoft allows you to upload all of your data for your leads into the CRM, and then you can just click to call. You can just click to call through them all, one at a time. Take notes as you're going through. You can pre-make all the, you can like custom. So what I did for my team is I custom designed like all the fields in the CRM, so that you can just go through and like it'll have like beneficiary, their social, bank account information, doctor information, health conditions, medications, height, weight, tobacco use. Like you can customize all those slots in there. So when you actually get VanillaSoft, so that you can, when you go back into the lead, all that data is right there. And a big thing too in telesales, guys, is if you get into it heavy, you want to work your existing client base every 3 to 6 months. That's like a gold mine. Like,
yes,
yeah, that's huge.
Absolutely. So when you're calling on an age lead, because that's actually what we do a lot of the time, especially for new agents. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So especially with new agents, we like to get them as many at-bats as possible, and tight budgets and things, age leads are the cheapest way to do that. So when you're structuring your age lead script, are you acting like it's a fresh lead, or do you have a different script to go about that to get that one call closed still?
Good question. And if anybody wants a copy of the script I use, if that's okay with you guys, they can email me. If you guys have your own thing, that's fine too. Honestly, every script is pretty good. It's the one you learn. That's good. So if you pick a script, pick one. My agents do this all the time. They'll try to write their own or like do something, and it's just like, just pick one and roll with it. And at the end of the call, I can give people my email if that's okay with you guys, whatever, that's fine too. But so I handle it the same. The beginning is a little different. So all I say is like, first of all, you have to nail the greeting. I'm gonna get into some of the sales stuff here. You have to nail your greeting. Like this is so key. And I think I'm gonna put a YouTube video on people, and like I can't overstress enough. You have to be enthusiastic. You have to know. I don't care if you're not enthusiastic. Sound like it. I don't care if you don't know what you're talking about. Sound like it. Like you just have, and you have to be. So for example, like Michaela, say I was calling you and you filled out the form a little while ago. I call you and I say, hey, Michaela. I would never say, how do you pronounce your last name? Gonier?
Gonier, yeah. Yeah, Gonier. Let's break it up a little bit. Yeah, we can't hear you. Darn it.
Dude, gold so far.
I know. I'm like, darn it.
Somebody was like, parking might help.
Yeah, I know.
My man's on the way to the airport, so the fact that he was even willing to do this means a lot. He wanted to make sure that we could get it in this week, and if we don't get him back, we'll be able to set up another time. As you guys can hear, he's pretty selfless. But the big thing, I mean, is those targets that he's given himself, to be honest with you guys. Like, I think it's so important that if you don't have a target that you're trying to hit every single day, you're just kind of just working for what? Like, you need something that you're striving towards. You need something that you're looking forward to. And so what he was saying is 200 people contacts a day, $1,000 in AP, or what do you say, 5 hours of talk time. And what he means by 5 hours of talk time is you actually interacting with the client, not you dialing for 5 hours. He's talking about communicating with people for a minimum 5 hours. So if that doesn't tell you what you think you should understand out of that, that means that you need to be dialing more. If you're only spending 5 hours dialing, you'll never have 5 hours of talk time, and you'll never have 200 people that you talk to. And you're really limiting yourself to trying to make 1K in a day. So I think that what he was suggesting was the vanilla soft. It sounds like it's a pretty good CRM, but it's going to come with a cost. So
He's back.
I'm back. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was just going through a valley, driving from the mountains to Denver. There's some peaks and valleys, so it's a nice thing. So if it breaks up again, let me know. I'm going to keep my camera off. I'll save you guys the horror of looking at my face for an hour.
You're good, my man.
But it helps with the connection, the bandwidth. So also, if you're dialing from home, you need to have a hardwired connection. Don't do Wi-Fi. It's internet. You don't do Wi-Fi. You got to have a hardwired connection, because the biggest thing is the upload speed, and upload speed tends to lag on Wi-Fi because your voice is being uploaded to the internet. So you have to be hardwired to your computer. But what I wanted to get into is the greeting. So, like, Gage, say I called you, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna go ring, ring, and then say hello. Okay?
Hello.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Gage.
Yeah. Who is this?
Hey, Gage, it's Justin. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing okay. Who is this?
Oh, hey, it's Justin. I'm with Senior Life Services. And the reason for my call is that a little while back, you spoke with one of our company's representatives about the state-approved final expense burial programs. And you mentioned your favorite color was green. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. No, my favorite color is green.
Okay, awesome. Is that like spruce green, or you like the spearmint gum green?
I'm more of like the Kelly green.
The Kelly green. Okay, well, I don't know what that is, but I'll check it out. So I'm a state licensed field underwriter in Texas, and my job is to go over the features of the programs, determine your eligibility, and then just show you how to apply if you're interested. So essentially, I make a confusing thing pretty simple. Sound fair enough?
That sounds fair.
So we go through that. Now, the biggest thing that people are going to have in the beginning, one, the enthusiasm that I have there is so important, because that's going to blast through a lot of the people not wanting to talk to you. Because if you're excited, right? If you're excited, people are going to be like, man, this guy can solve a problem for me. Or this guy's interested in something, which means he can solve a problem, which means he can help me take control of something in my life I don't have control over. So you have to have that enthusiasm. And the biggest things that people are going to get in the greeting is not interested, or already took care of it, or don't remember. Those are the top three. So what I can send you to, I have a website. I have a website I built for my team, and it's just buttons that they press. And whenever you get one of those objections, you can just click the button. It'll pop up with a way to handle the objection. It's pretty cool, and these are proven ones that work. So the biggest thing is when someone gives you one of those in the greeting, do not take it as real, because it's not real. It's totally BS. Our clientele gets smashed all day on the phone by people trying to sell them stuff. So you got to realize that they just don't know who you are. If you were their son or daughter calling them, they would not tell you not interested and hang up, right? So it's just that they don't know who you are. So big thing is, like, for instance, the one where they're like, I already have insurance, right? I do the big mistake that new agents make jumping into it, and I'm about to go into a tunnel here for about 10 seconds, but a big mistake new agents say is, oh, who do you have it with? We get into replacement mode immediately. Now, anyone want to think why that may be bad?
Because you're just sounding like a salesman.
Yeah, and they're lying half the time. A lot of time, I've had them say I have insurance, And then we get into the talk, and they're like, well, I got the letter in the mail from Globe Life. It's like, okay, cool. Well, you got your policy? Well, no, I mean, I filled it out. Like, okay, so you don't really have anything. Like, well, no. Right? So if someone tells you they have insurance, best way to handle that is be happy about it. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I'd be surprised if you didn't. Most people I speak with do, but they find this information really valuable. And then you switch immediately to a question on the lead form. So if it shows their beneficiary, be like, so Gage, I see you mentioned that your beneficiary would be your daughter if anything happens to you. Is that right? So
That's
you want to, yeah, exactly. So you address it and then just move on like it's not even real. Or not interested. Hey, no worries. Look, it's just my job to get you the information in the shortest amount of time possible. You can make a decision whenever you're ready. It doesn't have to be today. And then right into the question, right? Or if they're like, oh, I never did that. Hey, no worries. We've had such an overwhelming response in your area. It's taken me so long to get back to everybody. I sincerely apologize for that. And then right in. So those are like proven way. And that's in the rebuttals page too. Also my YouTube channel, I have a telesales objection mastery class where I cover every single objection that you can get in final expense telesales and how to handle it. So you can look at that too.
Yeah, no, I think it's a key thing, Justin. I mean, what we like to say is it's like the AAA. So you have to agree, acknowledge, ask a question with every objection. It doesn't matter what it is. You just agree with what they say. You acknowledge what they said, and then you end with by asking a question. And so that way you take back the control of the conversation. And I think that you hit on a key point that new agents are like, oh yeah, what company? And then like you're immediately trying to shop around for them. But when you take the approach of saying, well, it would be kind of weird if you didn't. Everyone that I speak to has this. Jordan Lowry used that on the call earlier today in the dial room, and it worked. He booked an appointment. The guy's like, well, let's see what you got, and we could kind of compare. But that could have easily been lost by him saying, oh, what company do you have? Or who did you go with? It's just saying, hey, most people, they do have something. So it makes sense that she got it. Now, this information that I have is the new state regulated programs that have come out here in 2022. And my job is simply to provide you with that information and see if we can strengthen your position. So it's just staying in control, not getting freaked out. Justin hit it on the head. There's about 3 objections that you're going to get when you dial the phone. And it's really maybe some little off words that they may say, but it's really just those 3 things. And so when you have a newer agent, Justin, that is kind of struggling, just getting hung up on really fast, what would be your, I guess, best tip or advice to somebody who says, man, they just hang up on me right away?
Practice with a friend. You have to drill that stuff. Because if you're getting hung up on, it's usually because your enthusiasm is, you're going too fast, or you're in the objection properly. So a big thing is tempo too. A lot of us are a lot of the people I bring in are a little younger, or they're from the Northeast. They're not in the Amazon Prime. Hey, I want it now, and I'm going to get it now. They're kind of a little more relaxed, a little more slow talking, and whenever I get discouraged, I write down my goals that I want to accomplish, and it's like immediate energy.
So you're saying you do that on a daily basis?
Dealing with being telesales multiple times a day. Whenever I get discouraged, I write down probably 3 or 4 times a day. Yeah, but discouragement is going to be. But is it back now? Can you guys hear me again?
Yeah, we're good, dude.
Okay, cool. Your goals. You have to have a business, like slow business. It's like it's a long-term play. So you've got to write those long-term goals down for yourself and focus on where you want to go. That's the big thing if you get discouraged. Number 2, the only thing separating from where you are now to where you want to be is a skill that you haven't learned and applied. So you just have to learn that. And the biggest thing I recommend is to drill. Find that someone else who's doing telesales and drill on it with them in the morning, and practice those objections, practice the rebuttals, listen to each other, and then fail each other too if you don't handle it right. And you want to go slow. So make sure that someone's being enthusiastic, they're having good tempo, and then let them have it with the objections. And you want to practice on those things. You got to practice on those things and just drill them in. So if someone's getting discouraged because they're getting hung up on, one, welcome to telesales. Two, you got to practice with someone else. And it's really, you're gonna get it down. Like I didn't start doing this yesterday, you know, and I help people every day who did start doing it. So practice with someone else. And also VanillaSoft is great because you can download your call recordings. You can have the calls recorded. So you want to listen to your calls. Like Tom Brady, he didn't win that many Super Bowls by watching less video footage than everyone else. I know when he joined the Buccaneers, they were like, yeah, we've never watched this much game footage in our lives. So listening to your calls is huge. And it's pretty cringeworthy sometimes. Like when you first start to listen, it's like, oh God, what am I saying? But it helps.
No, you're absolutely right. I think that what you said about practicing before you get on the phones is brilliant. It's like we just hop on the phones and expect people to say yes, but when we're getting on the phones, we know we're going to get those same 3 objections in one way, shape, or form. So if you practice that before you get on the phones, now you're in that mentality for you to overcome those, just blow right through those objections. And I think that what you said about writing down your goals whenever you get discouraged, because you have to redefine your why, or you have to look back at your why on why you're trying to do this business and what you're trying to accomplish in this business. We get so caught up in wanting instant gratification when in reality, this is a skill that needs to be learned and a skill that will be mastered, but that only comes with repetition and practice. You heard him say it, practice, practice, practice. Find someone on the team that you want to partner up with and you guys practice before you get on the phones. Get onto the breakout rooms that we've created for you guys and unmute yourself and take coaching. That's the whole point of the Zoom, is not just for us to hang out in a room and see other people working. The point of it is for us to give you live coaching and make little critiques that can potentially help you close a deal, potentially help you help another family. But if you sit on mute and you never get on the Zooms, you're really just hurting yourself, truthfully. You're stunting your growth. We are giving you the tools and the resources to speed up your learning curve. But at the end of the day, you determine the speed of that learning curve. And that's what's cool about this business is everybody runs their own race. You cannot compare yourself to the person to the right of you, to the left of you, because you are you. And so you always have to remember that, why are you doing this business? I love that, Justin. I'm going to start doing that when I get down, discouraged. I need to write down my why. I need to write down why I'm doing this business. And something that I heard you say, and I've ripped and copied and said to our team is, this isn't a get rich fast business. This is a get wealthy slow business. And you have to understand that. And the first 9 months is the hardest because we get advanced 75%.
Oh, my first 9 months, I was so, dude, oh my God. My first 9 months of building a telesales team, I it was brutal. Like it was, I can't even put words, can't describe it. It was tough, but like keep pushing. And anybody can relate to that emotion typically if they've been in the business for more than a year. Thinking like, okay, how was your first 9 months? Be like, well, glad I went through it. That's all. I'm glad.
Yeah, exactly. And I appreciate you sharing that, Justin, because I know there's a lot of people on this call who think you're like this sales guru, but at the end of the day, you just kept putting in the reps and kept putting in the practice, and it's gotten you to this point. It's clear as day that you've invested into yourself. You've invested in the different avenues of the business to create websites, to create scripts, to utilize systems that are duplicatable. And that was you making that decision, not someone, I imagine, telling you to do any of that. You decided yourself because you wanted to grow a big team that I'm going to create these tools to make their life easier. And guys, we have a ton of different tools. You have fflvirtualsales.com. You have fflamerica.com. I mean, you have multiple outlets with, not millions, but tons of links for you to utilize. But you have to work on your craft. This isn't a 9 to 5. This is you starting a business, and this is you putting in the time and effort. I promise you, people who own their own businesses don't work 40 hours a week. Promise you that. It's more 50, 60, 70, 80. How many hours would you say, Justin, that you were putting in or put in now, like on a consistent basis, if you had to guess?
Oh, geez. Well, at least 65. I mean, I'm at the gym at 5 a.m. I'm at the office by 6:30. I don't leave till 7:30, like every day.
Every
And
day.
Saturdays Saturdays I leave a little earlier. Sundays I tend to do my thing. I do have to, run errands and take care of the other stuff in my life. But I'm big on it, and I still do it. I mean, I have Cardone University and through Grant Cardone, but I log in and I listen to training videos every single day. Still, I mean, it's always, you always want to train and always want to learn, because the first time going through a video, it's like if you ever read a book twice, like if you ever read something and then read it like 5 years later, or watch a movie and watch it 5 years later, you just see things that you didn't see before. So at different stages in your career, that same training video is going to have a different impact on you. So utilize all the resources you guys have. There's so many monster producing agents at FFL that like when you first start something they say, you may have no idea it's just totally over your head. But then after 3 months in, you're like, whoa, like just something that could totally change your life. And when I'm shadowing new agents and listening to their calls, and we're listening to callbacks, it's a replay call replays. It's usually not like anything massive. It's usually like just a short thing. There's a few key things you want to hit on. You want to get your greeting. You want to make sure you ask the right questions. You get the decision maker. Build a little bit of a relationship with them. Make someone laugh. Laughter is the shortest distance between two people. I like to say. I heard that one time. It sounded cool. and then present and close, and then learn Jordan Belfort's loop to handle objections. It's like absolute gold. And then also to the website, I can send you Gage for people to use for the rebuttals. You can use those to just hammer in on it. But I've kind of gone on a tangent there. So
no, you're good, man. You sound just like me. Once you get fired up, dude, you're ready to roll. So, but it's obvious though. It's obvious, guys, that Justin is continuously sharpening his iron. He's continuously getting better on a daily basis. And I love the fact that you mentioned Grant Cardone. I love the fact that you mentioned Jordan Belfort, because guys, you are an entrepreneur. You're not an insurance agent. You're an entrepreneur. You own your own business. So you have to treat it that way. You have to look into the entrepreneurship world at idols or role models in this space and redefine the way you think. I mean, Dave Anderson, everyone praised Dave Anderson at our convention in Miami, and he is just an entrepreneur keynote speaker. And we all got exposed to that, and we loved what he said. And there's so many other people out there like that who can help you rewire your brain in the way that you think. And when you're disciplined and you put in effort, that compounds. So discipline and training equals confidence. And that is what you're hearing from Justin right now, is he is disciplined and he continuously trains, and he's oozing out with confidence right now. And I appreciate you, truthfully, Justin, being so open with allowing our agents to utilize things that you've built. Like you said, you spent a ton of money on building these different concepts, how to build your YouTube channel. And it just means a lot, truthfully, Justin, that somebody is willing enough to share their tools and resources for the greater good of the insurance industry. And that's what I really wanted you guys to understand here, is like, Justin didn't have to do any of this. He could have told me no. He told me he could have pound sand, you're with Family First Life. I'm not going to associate with you. But he's smart enough to understand that there's other people in this space that may be a little bit better at maybe what he's lacking in, or what he's trying to prove.
And if you can learn from my mistakes, I'd prefer that. Like, what are you saying with the business owner mentality? I reinvested all of my profit above and beyond my bills in an occasional trip here or there for the first year and a half of my business. Like every single dollar I had above that, I was putting it back in. So like, if I can help.
It cut out there a bit.
Awesome. I was just, if I learned a lot along the way. So
And that's the whole point here, guys, is we share these things with you so then we can try to help you from falling into these traps or falling into these mistakes. So it's been great today here, Justin, and I appreciate you guys sticking through these technical difficulties. We're going to get this figured out, and we will get better, just like you're going to get better at telesales and just like you're going to get better at selling life insurance. But Justin, if you have any parting ways for our agents here on the call, or any last words of encouragement that you'd like to share before we let you go, my man.
That was actually just I just cut back in here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just don't give up, guys. You know, I'm telling you, like, there were so many times my first year I wanted to quit and I didn't, and I just kept focused on those longer term goals. Don't give up. Keep going with it. Do whatever you have to do. Put in the extra time and money. So the first year of your business, expect to work hard. I promise you this, if you can work harder the first year doing this, harder at this than anything you've ever worked at in your entire life, then I promise it's going to reward you. So don't give up, and reach out to me if you need any help at all. I mean, I have absolutely no problem. Send me an email. It's usually probably the best way to get in touch with me, because I do have a team that I help throughout the day too. So any questions, let me know. Utilize the content that's available for you. And that's really it. Like, if I can do it, anybody else can do it. And yeah, that's all, guys. Don't give up. And you got a great leader here. The fact that Gage reached out to me, and I'm putting my email in the chat here as well. Somebody had asked for it. So the fact that Gage had reached out to me, it meant a lot. I mean, I haven't liked your posts on Instagram and Facebook for like 6 months, and you followed me back on IG. I was like, ooh, I was like a fanboy. It's cool. John Wetmore. I'm friends with John, and I had lunch with some of him and his staff, and I think we shared the post or whatever. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate being on this call. Like, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We really appreciate the value that you brought to us. And the thing is, guys, is you always got to keep humility, because you have to understand that people are better at things than you are, and accepting that. Justin's better at telesales than I am. I ran in-person appointments. That's how I learned how to sell life insurance. And I reached out to him for you guys to learn these tools and to start following his content. Our new agent orientation has a lot of stuff that came from Justin's videos, and it's on YouTube. It's free. So just follow his channel, hit the subscribe for him. It helps him out. And appreciate your time, Justin. If there's anything I could ever do for your team or for you, man, don't hesitate to reach out. And we're excited to have you on at another point in time, maybe in a couple months or something, man. And safe travels to you, brother. Do appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. I will see you. I'll see you some other time. I'm logging off here. See you guys.
Awesome. Peace, bro. So, guys, today is payday. It is a new week. We're all back to zero. And you guys just got a ton of really, really good stuff that you could immediately implement into your business. But the thing is these tools and these rebuttals and all these things that Justin has given us, it only works if you apply it. I promise you. Like, he didn't just give you some type of a shortcut to make sales. He gave you ways to improve your sales. He gave you ways to train on your sales. But at the end of the day, he puts in time, he puts in effort, and he works Monday through Saturday. That's what you have to understand. Is like, this business is about the time and the repetition that you put in. And you heard him. He's like, I wanted to quit a ton of times in the first year. I'm the same way. It's natural for it to be like that, because you're battling your own mind. You're battling the demons that are telling you, you can't do this. This is fake. This is not real. The leads suck. No. You just heard him. He'll take an age lead. He'll take a name and a number and at least give him a presentation. That is confidence. But he got that confidence through discipline and through training. It's 1 + 1 = 2. That's it. And so I'm sharing this with you guys because vanilla, whatever he said, and all these different things, like, yes, you can go out and do them and utilize them. But at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to you. It's going to boil down to the person in the mirror making a conscious effort when you go through mistakes, when you go through pitfalls, when you go through the failures, that you turn the losses into lessons. because we don't lose around here. We just get better, and we are always trying to improve. So we'll get the breakout rooms back created here for you guys to utilize. And we have 71 people on this call, but for some weird reason, we'll have like 20 people on the breakout rooms. Like, there's power in people. We created this on dial day so you can get tools and word tracks and things to utilize to immediately implement into your business today. Don't wait till next Monday. Don't wait till Saturday. Do it today. Today is the day you draw the line in the sand, and you're gonna make changes and you're gonna get better. But we're here to help, and these breakout rooms are for you to succeed, not for you to just hear about and say, I wonder if that works. His team does it, our team does it. There's a correlation in that. So I appreciate you guys' time. I'll be in the book and appointments room as we're going to be setting up some appointments this weekend. But I appreciate you guys' time. And if you need any help, please reach out. We don't know if you need help if you don't say anything. Closed mouths do not get fed. You have to speak up. This is your business. Take control. Ask for help. You have a ton of really, really, really good producers on Enhanced Foundation, just our team alone. So leverage them, help them become better trainers. You're not bothering them. A lot of them are trying to build an agency. So you asking for help gives them the ability to become a better trainer. Just remember that. You're never bothering me. You're never bothering Cody. You're never bothering Willis. You're never bothering Michaela. You're actually helping us become better trainers. And as soon as you switch your mindset into that, you're going to get a lot of people who are willing to help you out. So appreciate you guys' time.